Welcome back to another episode of Pillow Talkin with Jay and Jenn. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. We're happy to have you, and we hope that you enjoy today's episode.
Yeah,
So, what are we getting into today?
man. Today we're gonna get into something pretty good. But today, before we even get into that, I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
We just released our fourth episode
Mm-hmm.
last night, and we was reading the comments while we were getting ready for this one, and we're just blown away with all the comments. So um, we just want to say thank you
Yes.
for your love and support. It's not easy talking about the topics that we talk about and sharing our life on camera.
Yes.
But we're thinking about the overall goal, which is helping you guys. So I appreciate all the love and support, and I appreciate all you guys just letting us know that it's helping your marriage and your relationships. So thank you.
Thank you. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes. So we're going to keep it going.
Yes,
We
for
are going to
sure.
keep it going. So today we are going to talk about the marriage myths that people believe.
Mm.
And a lot of those myths people believe um, after they say, I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that.
All right then. Well, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So, myth number one is happy couples do not argue.
Mm.
What do you have to say about that?
I feel like that's the biggest myth I've ever heard in my life
Okay, explain.
because happy couples do argue.
Mm-hmm.
They argue all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But a better word for it is debating. I feel like that's just a better word to use than arguments because, like I said, all couples are going to have some kind of conflict.
Right.
And as long as they work towards resolving it, it's okay. It is okay.
Okay.
All right. And I just feel like that's just the biggest myth.
Okay. Okay, I agree. I agree. Happy couples, we argue,
Yeah, we do.
I think it depends on how you argue.
Yeah.
You don't want to be heated when you're arguing because then you end up saying very hurtful things. So I think it depends on, not depend, but I think it matters how you argue.
Yes. Yes.
Argue to get, or like you said, debate,
Mm-hmm.
disagree,
Mm-hmm.
make your point to get understanding, to share understanding with each other. It's not meant to dig and hurt at each other.
True.
So I think it really depends on how you argue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, having conflict in relationships, I mean, it is healthy.
Yeah.
It is healthy. It's even in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
In Ephesians 4:26.
Mm-hmm.
Check that out when you get a chance.
Yeah.
But it says, in your anger, do not sin.
Absolutely.
So as long as you don't sin and as long as you don't go to bed angry,
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing that a lot of couples do and you should not do because when you think about it, um, play by play, you get in an argument with your spouse
Mm-hmm.
and you stay mad at your spouse and you go to bed like that and you're still mad when you wake up. So then you're bringing it into the next day and you're just continuing that heated that heatness, if you will. But you're still mad at each other throughout the day and throughout the next day. But if you try to resolve that before you guys go to bed at night, then you can start a new day fresh and work towards getting back to the loving. So, I mean, it says it in the word. It says it in the word. But having that conflict is healthy as long as you guys work towards resolving it.
I'm gonna challenge you on that.
Oh, okay.
About not going to bed angry. I'm gonna challenge you on that because I think sometimes you may have a discussion about something and there is no resolve before you go to bed. I, I maybe you might not go to bed angry, but it's not resolved. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Like, so you still might not be happy about this situation by the time you go to bed. So I don't know if I agree too much on the do not
Okay.
go to bed angry.
We'll say it's not resolved.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least, you could say, or I could say to you, I know you're still mad. I
Mm-hmm.
know we're still mad, but I
Mm-hmm.
just want to let you know that I love you and we're gonna work through this.
Okay.
And you might give me a little, okay, whatever. But I said it. It's gonna marinate in your head,
Right.
and we'll talk about it in the morning or later on the next day.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you still know I'm okay with what's going on, and we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
work through it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I like that. I
yeah.
like that.
Okay. Myth number two:
Okay.
the wife is supposed to just submit to the husband.
Mm. Mm-mm.
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 No,
Mm-mm. No.
I don't.
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
That
Um,
that's that yes, that is a myth for sure. That
oh
is
no.
definitely a myth. So I had to go to the dictionary because I was like, what does it mean to be submissive or what is submission?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I found out. Submission or being submissive is the act of yielding or surrendering one's own will to the authority or will of another, often in the spirit of humility and obedience. So, I really do feel submission is a two-way street.
Okay.
It's just not the wife obeying the husband. Submission to me means that I trust that whatever I have going on or whatever is happening in our lives, I trust that you will be there to cover me and keep me and handle any situation that's happening, whether it's between the two of us, between the family. You really have to have trust in order to submit something to someone.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean that you lose yourself. It doesn't mean that you completely abandon who you are or your thoughts or your goals or your dreams or aspirations or anything like that. It's a collaboration, I feel, between a couple to say, I trust you. I submit to what you say and you submit to what I say.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about it.
Okay. Okay. Um, I do feel like it's a two-way street
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to submission. Um, I don't feel like a relationship is quote unquote 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's 100-100
Mm-hmm.
because my definition of submission is you're giving yourself to that person, and you're giving all of yourself to that person. And I know it's in the book of Ephesians where it talks about you should submit yourself to your spouse as Christ gave himself for the church.
Mm-hmm.
So when I think about Christ, Jesus, when he died for us, and we didn't love him, we chastised him, we called him names, we threw rocks at him, we even killed him,
Mm-hmm.
but he still loved us.
Mm-hmm.
And not going to that extent, but when you're talking about living with your spouse and stuff like that, there's going to be times where they dislike you. There are going to be times where you're not feeling quote unquote loved because of whatever's going on in your life at that time, and you still have to love that person.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to fight through all that stuff.
Yeah.
And when those times come around, I always think about what Jesus did for me and how we treated him. So, and he still loved us. So it's like if he can do that, I can show love to my spouse. And
Okay.
that's how I show love to my spouse throughout those times. And the more you love your spouse, trust me, it's going to get reciprocated back to you. So you just you just love the hell out of them. Is what you do.
Period.
and the more you love the heavy is gonna get on them. And what I mean by that is I think about like like wrestling.
Mhm.
So in wrestling, they're wrestling and they're beating each other up into submission.
Mhm.
And they keep on until the person eventually gives up.
Mhm.
Same thing. You just keep loving on them, get that heavy love on them to the point they can't take them on, just give up. And they just give it back to you. So and then they just submit. So I don't have to force my wife to do anything because I'm loving you.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna keep loving you. You like, dang, this man loved me so much. I'm gonna do this for him. I'm gonna do
Mhm.
that for him. And that's like I don't have to yell. I don't have to argue. I don't have to do anything. Just keep loving, and it's gonna come back to you. So that's what I think submission is.
Okay, come on, analogies.
You see
Okay,
it?
I
You
see.
see it? You see I be
Come
working.
on. Yeah, you worked that out. I like that. Well, that kind of brings us to another myth, myth 3.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of mentioned it already.
Oh, okay.
Marriage is 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about that?
Well, yeah. I
Yeah,
already
you
mentioned it,
said
but
it.
yeah, it's not 50-50. It's like I say, it's 100-100 because you're giving all of yourself to that
Mhm.
person, and hopefully they're doing the same thing. So if everybody going hard for each other, I mean, you can't help but have a beautiful marriage or a beautiful relationship if both of you guys are giving your all
Mhm.
into that relationship. So
Okay. I'm going to challenge that again.
okay, again, challenges. A lot of challenges this episode
You
here.
know what? I do believe it's a myth. Marriage is not 50-50. Marriage, I don't think it's 50-50. Um I don't necessarily think it's 100-100 either
Mm-hmm.
all the time,
True.
because sometimes I feel like one is going to pull up higher than the other.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe sometimes it's 70-30, or 40-60, or 0-100, or 110 and 78.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're always going to be equal at all times, depending on things that are going on in life, or
True.
different situations. But as long as you two agree to lift each other up,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be the most important thing, you know
Okay.
when you're working through a marriage. Yes, you want to give your all, but sometimes I feel like there's sometimes I'm not giving my all,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and like you're really pulling your weight in the marriage and I'm lacking, but you don't, for lack of a better word, chastise or condemn me because I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand what I mean by that?
I do.
Feel a butt coming.
No, it's not. It's not necessarily a but. I get what you're saying because it's hard to give your 100% when you're not feeling good
Mhm.
or you have a lot of things going on outside the house
Mhm.
that you need to take care of. So I understand that, but that's when you know I would come in and pick up that slack.
Right.
And so I can see why you say you can't always be 100% all the time. And same thing with me, if I got something going on and it's hard for me to be at the house, then I would need you to like pick up the slack. So
Mhm.
I get it. So I would say as long as both parties are come to a mutual agreement and
That's the
understand
word.
what's going
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
within that time frame, I mean, I still feel like that's giving your all. I mean, as long as you guys know, hey, can you pick up this? Can you do this? Because I can't do it right this time. Or
Mhm.
I'm not feeling good today. Can you do this? So,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. I can kind of feel that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, myth number 4,
Okay.
marriage will fix your problems and having children will help your marriage.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Oh, why? Who would ever think that?
I don't know. I don't know. Some people do, though.
If you were broken before marriage, you gonna be broken in the marriage.
Mm.
Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, when we first got married, I had a lot of work to do while we were married.
Oh man.
So, I mean, he had a lot to work through while we were dating, but then the man had the nerve to marry me. So,
Yeah.
and so there was a lot of working through that. And
Mm-hmm.
then having kids will definitely not fix your marriage. It will not. Bringing another life brings another element
Yeah.
into your situation. So I don't. Yeah, that is that is definitely a myth in my book. What you think?
Yeah. I do. Um. Yeah. Having children will not help your marriage. Um. I know I told you guys in the previous video about us having our first child and how it made us get together, but that was because it was do or die.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, sink or swim.
Mhm.
We didn't have a choice in the matter. We chose to work, but
Mhm.
I mean, there's a lot of people choose the opposite. So don't think a child is going to help bring your marriage together,
Mm-mm.
and it definitely doesn't help your relationship by getting married. If you got baggage before the marriage, you're just bringing it into the marriage.
Mhm.
And
Bag lady.
yeah, exactly. So whatever you bring in to that marriage, that's what you're gonna have, man. And you're gonna have to declutter all that stuff.
Mhm.
It's best to do it before you get married. So if you got to go to counseling, by all means, do so.
Yeah.
If you need to get help, by all means, do so. But um, don't think that marriage is gonna help you,
Right.
because it's not. It's just gonna make it worse,
Yeah.
if anything. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. I agree with that for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I will say, I mean, it's been. I remember plenty of conversations we had at the beginning, and I was like, "Why are you acting like this? What is the problem?" And you finally like broke down and told me in full detail. And I'm like, "Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay. Now I see what I'm working with here."
Yeah.
So, um, like I say, thank you for telling me. Thank you for sharing that, because a lot of people don't, and they just hold it to themselves, and while your spouse is trying to figure it out, and you're just causing more confusion and more conflict. So
Mhm.
that's why it's very important to either get help or talk to your spouse about it. Like, share it. It
Yeah.
may hurt, but at least that person knows what's going on in that head of yours.
Yeah, because there's a lot swimming around in
Yeah,
my
because
brain.
it could be a lot of triggers that you have and your spouse doesn't know, and they're just pulling away on it. But then they're looking like, why are you acting like this? What is the problem?
Yeah.
So you got to share it. You got to let people know, let your spouse know what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yes, ma'am.
So it brings us to our last myth that we're going to talk about today, and that's myth number 5. You should put your children first.
Put them first.
Put
Like
your
number
children
one,
first. Number 1,
top priority.
top priority.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think about that myth?
Yeah, that is a myth. A big one. That is a big one. I know a lot of you guys heard that analogy about um, when you're on a plane, and if the plane is going down, the first thing you should do is take care of yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing in your relationship. Your kids do not come first
Mm-mm.
at all.
Mm-mm.
You should always take care of your spouse first.
Yeah.
Kids come second, because number one, kids get older, and eventually and hopefully they will get out of your house,
Yeah.
and then, and then they will start to live their own lives, and then you're back with your spouse again. And if you guys have been talking and just being with each other throughout the time that the kids were there, you're gonna start all over again.
Yeah.
Hopefully, and not look at each other like strangers.
Right.
So that's number one. The other thing is, if you two are not good, the kids ain't gonna be good.
Facts.
It starts from the head down, you know. So I mean, kids pick up on it when mommy and daddy is not happy with each other. Um, you know, our oldest son, he look at us like, "What's wrong, mommy?
Mhm.
What's wrong, daddy? Are you okay? What's going
Mhm.
on?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Will you get out of my face, please?"
And they'll play it against you.
Oh yeah, yes,
They will play that thing
yep,
against you. If you two are at odds or whatever, yeah, they'll play it against you. And there's been a couple of times like we might start to have an argument and then I'll see my son jump in. I'm like, oh, 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 we'll talk about this later.
yeah.
Because the last thing I want is for him to be like, yeah, daddy, mommy said, no, sir. This is between me and your dad.
Mhm.
Stay out of grown folks' business, okay?
Yeah.
Because the kids will play you.
Yes.
They will play you big time.
Definitely. Definitely. And the youngest one, he trying it too.
Yeah, the youngest one. Yeah,
Already.
already. They try it, but I try to make sure that I let the kids know this is my husband. He is my man. He is first.
Mhm.
And there has been times where I had to run up on my oldest, like, look, bro, look, little boy, what you ain't finna do is talk to your daddy crazy. I've had to
Mhm.
run up on him, and he was like, "Oh, okay, she crazy for real," and I am, I
Yep.
am,
Yep. Yep.
I am.
I mean, it
So
it has been times where I've seen it, and I would let you handle it because
mhm,
I want you to like show him like, hey, don't do that, you
yeah,
know, instead of me just coming in and doing it.
mhm,
Um, just to let him know, hey, you can't play her and you can't play me as well.
right,
So um, it's very important that mommy and daddy stay on the same
yep,
page
yep.
for sure, for sure.
Mhm. So now that we've talked about all of these myths, where do you think these myths come from? Where do these ideas come from?
Mm, I don't know. I think I know most of it come from our heads.
Yeah.
What what we believe in and what we think would work.
Mhm.
Um, so that's one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think social media plays a big part in
Okay.
it. Instagram, you
Mhm.
see like this idealistic vision of what a marriage or relationship would be. Hashtag couple goals, hashtag, relationship goals and all that kind of stuff. But you don't get to see the nitty gritty of like what's
Mhm.
happening behind that. So I think social media plays a lot into it.
Yeah. Yeah. People got to remember that you when you look on social media, you're looking at people highlights,
Mhm.
pretty much. That's what everybody show you, everything that's going good in their lives, but they
Mhm.
don't show the other side of it.
Right.
And you have to remember that when you're looking at social media. It's
Yeah.
probably best for you to just stay off of social media a lot, as much as you can almost, man.
Yeah.
It's all right to check it out every now and then, but don't like be on there all the time because it plays with your mind. It does.
Yeah.
So I do agree with social media. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I would also say how you were brought up.
Mhm.
Maybe not in a myth way per se, but like how you kind of cultivate your marriage is kind of predicated on what you saw growing up,
Yeah, cause
good
that
and bad.
yeah, cause that was your culture bringing
Yeah.
up. That's
Yeah.
what that was your environment.
Yeah.
So um yeah, like you said, good or bad, whatever your environment was, um, you could pick up a lot of those things when
Mhm.
you get older. And you're like, well, mommy and daddy did it this way, so I'm gonna do it the same way.
Yeah.
Or you saw somebody else's relationship and you was like, well, that's how it goes, that's how it works.
Mhm.
And that may not be the case.
Right. Right. So what about church?
Mm.
How do you think church plays into some of these myths that we talked about? Do they even play a role in it?
Mm. Mm. Church is good, but I do feel like it takes more than just praying about it.
Hmm.
Even the word says that prayer without works is dead, right?
Right.
So you got to put some work into it whether it's in church or outside of church, whatever you need to work through that marriage and get that marriage back healthy again, that's what you need to do. Of course, God is in it.
Yes.
You should always keep God in it. And but I believe God wants you to get some help too and work through it.
Yeah.
So when you have both of those things working for you, I mean, that's how it works. But you just can't sit there and pray and pray and pray and pray and not do anything else.
Yeah. Can't pray it away.
Yeah, you can't pray it away. You
Well, the
can't.
Lord's going to work it out. And then you
Exactly.
just sit there and do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It takes more than that. It takes more than that.
Right. Like my spouse is not paying attention to me. Well, the Lord's going to work it out.
Like, what?
And you just sit there
Yeah.
and then your spouse walk out the door.
Hmm.
It takes more. It's prayer and work. They go hand in hand.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So here's one. What do you think about romantic comedies?
Oh, I love romantic comedies. I love rom-com movies. They're so predictable though. Like
Exactly.
you have the guy chasing the girl. The girl's not paying attention to the guy, but then she realized, oh, this is the guy I've always wanted. And then some kind of conflict happens, but they always come back together. Just they always
But
come
don't you
back
like
together.
those? Don't you like them?
Yeah, I like rom-com movies because
I
they're
don't know why.
predictable.
And that's why I hate them. It's the same crap, man. It's the same stuff, man. Another rom-com. Here we go. Starring Morris Chestnut.
Oh yes.
Taraji P. Henson. The new movie with Tyler Perry. Like, I'm sick of these. I am so sick of these.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's my chance to like live in a fantasy, you know. And maybe they'll throw a little plot twist in there that I didn't see coming. I'm like, whoop. Okay, but they always come back together and you know.
Yeah. And you know what's worse than romantic comedies?
What?
Christmas romantic comedies.
Oh my gosh, I love, love. I can watch Christmas movies all year round. I love them. I know what's going to happen.
No.
And I love it. But it doesn't work in your real life, okay?
No, it
they don't
doesn't.
work in real
No.
life. I mean, it's such a fantasy. But it's just so wonderful to just watch, you know, Christmas time and the snow is falling and you know, you're opening up this new hotel and this man comes in and you're at conflict at first, but then you see the beauty in the two of you together and you come together and
Oh, I was getting into it. I thought you had the ending going. Oh man.
yeah.
But do you think that plays a part in people's minds? Like, do they think that's going to happen in real life?
Yeah, I think people are looking for a fairy tale. I think they're looking for a fairy tale and they date that way, they get married that way, and they feel like marriage is a fairy tale and everything's going to be perfect and you're, you know, running through the tulips and you run and you grab each other and it's like, I love you too, nothing can take us apart.
Wow.
It doesn't matter that you're in Switzerland and I'm in the United States. We're going to make this work and it's all going to come together and yeah.
And then you find out they got a whole nother family on
Right. And then you in a polygamous relationship and you didn't even know it. You didn't know. You got a whole family, you know, in the other country and
So now you go from a romantic comedy to a documentary, is what you're saying.
basically.
Okay.
Have you watched some of those documentaries? Like, you
I
know,
have.
it's wild.
Yeah,
like
wild.
I'm watching it and I'm like, did you really think that how you go 6 years and never met this man? And then you end up at the house, you're like, hey, it's you. And the person's like, I don't know who you are because they've catfished you. But that's a whole other topic. We're getting off topic. But yeah,
Wow.
I mean, yeah. So, you know, the movies play a big role
Yeah, they
in
do.
how you think marriage is supposed to be and how it's supposed to go. And it's really not that. It's not that at all.
Nope. That's why I don't like them.
I love
So those are some of the myths and the truths that we feel that marriage is all about. So I want to ask you,
them.
what do you feel the overall truth is about marriage?
I feel that the overall truth about marriage is that it takes work
Mm-hmm.
and love plays a big part in it. Love is an action word,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to choose to display it every day to your spouse. One of my favorite passages of scripture is in 1 Corinthians 13. I call it the love chapter, where it talks about love and what love is and what it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to share it with you.
Okay.
It's 1 Corinthians 13, verses 3 through 8. And I'm going to read from the Message version. So the scripture says, "So no matter what I say, what I believe, and what I do, I am bankrupt without love. Love never gives up. Love cares more for others than self. Love doesn't want what it doesn't have. Love doesn't strut, doesn't have a swelled head, doesn't force itself on others. It isn't always me first, but doesn't fly off the handle, doesn't keep score of the sins of others, doesn't revel when others grovel, takes pleasure in the flowering of truth, puts up with anything, trusts God always, always looks for the best, never looks back, but keeps going to the end. Love never dies." And I just think that's very important to keep those things in mind when you're in a relationship, in a marriage, to always keep love at the center of it. It's an action. You're choosing to love a person through any situation. You're giving grace, you're showing empathy. And if you have any disagreements or things that you feel aren't going right in the marriage, you have a discussion. You have open and honest communication with each other. And I think that's really what the truth of what marriage is. And it's what you make it, you
Mm-hmm.
know. You can't always there isn't a blueprint. You may try to follow a blueprint, but at the end of the day, it's what you and your spouse have decided what your marriage is going to look like.
True. True.
Yeah.
Yes. And I believe we said that throughout the whole video,
Yeah.
is that love is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And you have you are able to choose each and every moment throughout the day, every time. Every time you guys talk, you have a choice to go off or you have a choice to operate in love. And as long as you focus on loving that person or making your marriage work, you're going to always, for the most part, choose the right decision and work towards a healthy marriage and a healthy relationship. So you always have a choice, either right or wrong, in real time on what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got to pause, take a pause, stop, and just process what's going on in that situation. But you always have a choice. You always have a choice.
Always. So I have something to tell you.
Okay.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Give me a kiss.
Oh man, you got me smooching on camera. All right,
Yes.
okay. Yeah.
So we hope you enjoyed today's episode. We would love to hear from you. Did we miss any myths? Feel free to share it with us.
Yes. We'll either respond to you in the comments below or hey, we might even make another video for you. So you never know. You never know.
Absolutely. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye.
Peace.